Yo everybody, Crown here, and today we're going to be talking about the game day cards. It's on blocks, so which ones could pop off, because blocks has nothing to do with point, game outcome, or any of that. It has a lot to do with how good are you at diving in front of rubber. So we're going to look at it, we're going to see who the best blockers are, who could go up by the most, because one block equals +1, that's a big jump. Some guys get a lot of blocks in a game, and we're going to see if any of these guys are in that category. But first, we're going to dive right into a public service announcement, and that is Zdeno Chara. Don't buy him. It's a 200,000 coin card at best. 150,000 coins is a good price. He's big. 90 speed's good enough. His body checking's great. His defensive awareness is okay. 150,000 is where he should be. 200,000 is where I'd cap at. That's the most I would spend, guys. The price that Zdeno is at right now, don't buy him. Just stop. I'm going to show you the price before we get into the other cards, but don't do it. It's a huge ripoff. Even if I pulled the Zdeno, yes, I would throw it up for that price because that's what the market's going for. But I'm just here to tell you, save your coins. That card will come down. Ridiculous price tag on this card. But let's get into it. I hope you do enjoy it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget that sub button down below if you're new here. You don't want to miss anything in the future. But let's get into the game day cards and see what we got. Okay, here's the Zdeno chart I'm talking about. 850, 700, 550, 550, 520. It's already coming down. Yesterday, when I checked when the card first came out, last night when I got home from work, it was 1 million coins. Now it's already down to 500. People are not selling it because people are buying it. Don't buy it. Let it keep coming down. It'll crack into the 400s. Let it get into the 400s. It'll get into the 300s. Let it get into the 300s. Don't be that first person that starts buying these cards up thinking you're getting a deal, because this card will be 150, 200,000 before you know it. So just wait, be patient. You'll get your card, pay your right price. Now, what game day cards are we talking about? The Saturday Showdown, January 27th. We got Vancouver, Columbus, Calgary, Chicago, Winnipeg, Toronto, again, by the way. Winnipeg, Toronto just had a great game. Get ready for this one to be another doozy. Pittsburgh, Montreal, Ottawa, and the Rangers. Okay, so I'm going to start with Tyler Myers. And right now he's an 84, which I just checked the market prices. 86s go for 20, 87s go for 38, and 88s go for 65. So you got to kind of have that guideline in. What do you think Tyler Myers is going to do? If he gets 3 blocks, he's an 87, which means he sells for 38K. Right now, this card, its cheapest is 45K. 3 block shots, is that a lot? We're going to have to check it out, but this is just something I want to talk about that I'm only going to mention this one time, but it's going to be something you need to apply over this whole video is, do you think Tyler Myers is going to get 4 or 5 blocks? So when we're looking at the stats, that'll let us know. But when you see a card for 50,000 coins, he needs to get 4 blocks to make his return. Just remember that. So if you don't think he's going to get 4 blocks and you pulled Tyler Myers, sell him right now at the elevated price, because then you're selling on the hype of what he could do. And then, you know, if he doesn't get it, it's a big win for you because you profit instead of watching him fall when you think he wasn't going to make it. Now, when it comes to Tyler Myers, you see here in 48 games, he's got 92 blocks. You can see that up in the middle of the screen. That's 2 to 3 blocks a game. So we can safely say Tyler Myers is going to be an 86 or an 87, which puts him at the 20 to 38,000 price tag. If you're looking to make an investment, you got to get him for cheaper than that, which isn't happening. So Tyler Myers is full on sell. Get rid of this card. Do not hold on to him, because you're talking about needing to pop off to make value. So sell him high instead of holding on to him when it's not going to be possible. These game day cards you have to be very careful with, because you can win or lose big. You got to be careful. The next one here is Erik Gudbranson. And you know what? This one is looking half decent. I like the price tag I'm seeing here. 13,000 out of Gudbranson. 13,000. 13,000 is a very good price, because now what we're saying is if he gets 1 block, he's an 85 and he's of value. So I don't mind this Gudbranson. This might be a sneaky buy. If he gets 2 blocks, he's 86 overall, which is 20K. That's a quick 7K. This might be a good flip here if you can get him at, like, say, the 13.9, which is just a buy now price, or you might wait for cheaper if that's something you want to do. But let's look at his blocks, and is it realistic for Gudbranson to put down 2 or 3 blocks? You'll see here, in 42 games, Gudbranson has 107 blocks. 107 blocks in 42 games, guys. That's almost guaranteed 3 blocks a game. So 2 blocks is a very good prediction. Now, one thing you're depending on is ice time here, as he goes from 17 to 21 minutes. Like, he fluctuates heavy in ice time, so that's a risk there. What do you think he's going to get against Vancouver? But I think this one's worth a risk, because if he gets one block, you make your coins back. If he gets 2 blocks, you're profiting. If he gets a 3rd block, say Columbus gets into penalty trouble, he gets out there blocking shots, you could have a good card on your hands. 13,000, I'm going to buy that right now, because that seems like a steal to me. And I hope it seems like a steal to you guys, because this one seems like a very good card to get after. So with that being said, guys, 13,000, I'm buying it. I'm just buying it, put it in the collection, leave it there. I will make coins off of that later, because I feel like he's going to get 2 block shots for an 86, which is 20K. And I'll sell him for the 20K immediately. Or if maybe he can pop off, get 2-3 blocks in the first 2 periods, then I'll sell him at an escalated rate of people thinking that maybe he gets 5 blocks and they want to pay it. They want to undercut it. So I'll sell him at an 88 instead of an 89 and make coins. Chris Tanev in Calgary, 29, 30, 40, 29, 29, 24, 24. Okay, 24 is 23 and 24 are interesting, but this guy needs to average 3+ blocks if we're gonna think about it, right? So let's go look at what his blocks are. But at 29,000, 30,000, you need this card to get 3 blocks to be an 87. So let's see where he's at and see if this is a good buy. Because if he gets 3 blocks, it's an okay buy. 4 blocks to steal. In 44 games, 128 blocks. This looks like a 3-block card, man. This looks like a 3-block card, and it's priced right where it should be. Like the Tyler Myers, because he's tall, is priced out of the market. You're not buying that card, flipping it, and making bank off it. People are hyping that card up because of his height and how good it would be for Hut. If he got a 90-91, that's what they want to get for it. But like, we got to be realistic, guys. Tyler Myers does not have a 3, 4, 5 block history, and Tanev kind of does. So Tanev being a 30K with 3 blocks, I think this is a good buy. It's not a moneymaker yet. If you can get it at this 23,000, you'd be all right. But if you can get it under 20,000, that's a steal, and I'd probably jump on that. Remember, there's still a risk. Maybe he gets no blocks. But if you look here, he had 1 game with 9 blocks, guys. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but 9 blocks. That would be huge if he could come in and drop a 9-block game. That's a 93 overall. That's a new right defenseman on your team. And at this 23,000, that could be a steal. And if you want it, go get it. But I would try to get it under 20. Always got to get it as cheap as you can, and I would shoot for under 20. Now he's playing Jared Tinordi, which Tinordi, 15,000, 11,000 on a 19-minute bid, 14,000. So 14,500 is the cheapest Tinordi. So again, it's the same as the good Branson you just seen me buy. Could he get the blocks to make him very efficient and a very good flip to make you a lot of coins? So you need 2 blocks out of Tinordi. So let's see how possible that is. Jared Tinordi's played 27 games, 55 blocks. That's a good number right there. That leads me to believe he's going to get the 2 blocks to make him an 86, making this card a good flip. And I think he's a good buy at 14K. And he's had some pretty big games of 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks where I think Tinordi could pop off, but I think his floor is 2, bumping him up to an 86 and making him a good buy. So I'm going to buy this card at 14,000. That's 2 purchases for 30,000. If they both hit 86, I'm getting 40,000. If one of them hits 87, I'm getting 50,000. I can live with that. Like I said, you could always try to get Tinordi for a little cheaper if it's possible, but I'm going to buy this one at 14,000 and just hope that I can get a good game out of him and good Branson. Sorry for the length of this video, guys, but there is a lot to go over, and I want to make sure I get every player for you. So Dylan DeMello, Winnipeg and Toronto just played. Dylan DeMello, 18,000, 14,000. There's only one up at 14,000. That could be a good buy. Let's go look at what his blocks are. 46 games, 81 blocks. I'd probably leave this card be. That's less than 2 blocks a game, so the chance of him hitting 85 and only getting 1 block is fairly good. He's had 3 game blocks. He's had 0 game blocks, so his average is under 2 blocks. I'd leave him be. 14K isn't a bad price. If he goes off, you're going to be happy, but there's a chance that he hits an 85. You lose 1,000, but is it worth it to you to risk that 1,000 coins and maybe getting a big payout? That's up to you. That's your call. But Dylan DeMello, for me, I'm going to hold off on. And then old Simon. Let's see what we got out of Simon. First one I see is 14,000. I like it. 13,000. Again, 13,000. This one's being priced like it's going to be an 85. And you're going to lose a little bit of coins if it hits an 85. If it hits an 86, you're doing good. But like always, we got to check the numbers and we got to see what's the likelihood of him hitting an 86. Let's go check that out. But if he can get to an 86, I'm buying this card. 32 games, 50 blocks. That's very bad. That's very bad. That's closer than Dello to one block a game. I'm not taking a shot on this card. Even at 13K, it's just not worth the risk to me. Chances are this card gets 1 or 0 blocks. So I'm going to pass on old Simon boy because those blocks just don't cut it. And I'm not even going to bother. I've got 2 cards. I'm happy with that right now. Let's see if there's anything else. Noel Acciari. There is a lot of Noel Acciaris up. 13, 14, 13. No 12. I was hoping with all the 13s you'd sneak a 12. But no 12s. There's a lot of 13s. Leading me to believe that this is going to be another 1 block a game kind of player. And yeah, here we go. 35 games played. 55 blocks. He's had some zeros. A lot of zeros actually. And he's had a lot of 1s. There is a couple of 3s games, so he could get an 87 and surprise, but I'm thinking that you got to stay on the safe side, and you got to taper your expectations for this card to be an 85 and lose 1,000 coins, but he has a good chance. Out of the last 3, I would risk Acciari before I would risk Simon or Dello. So Acciari has a chance at 86, 87, a small chance. I think he's going to be an 85, but he is one that I would risk the 1,000 coin loss on to take that crack. And then Caden Gooley, 28, 30, 30, 24. Okay, this card's priced like he's a guaranteed 86. So we're going to have to see if that's the case. But Caden Gooley could be a good card for Montreal fans if he pops off. I don't know. I don't watch him. I don't know how often he throws himself in front of the puck. But let's go check out the numbers and see if we got another good buy on our hands. Because this price tag, he's got to be an 87. So we need to see 3 blocks out of Gooley. Okay, 43 games with 126 blocks. That's a 3-block guy. That is a 3-block guy, but that's not the most intriguing thing. Okay, 43 games, 126 blocks. That's a 3-block guy. 87 is most likely in this guy's future for this card, making him of value, making him a risk worth taking, but that's not the most intriguing thing. The most intriguing thing is you can see he's got 10 block shots in one game. If he throws a 10 game up, that's huge. That's a 94 overall card. I'm not saying he's going to throw a 10 game up, but he's got a lot of 4s, a couple 5s in here. This card could be an 88, 89. It could be a huge return, and I think it's worth taking a risk at. Now, because he's a 3-block a game guy, 87's the price that I would think about being your cutoff limit, as in, you know, he's going to get to an 87, so you don't want to go above 38K, but the cheaper, obviously, the better, because if you can get it closer to like 20K, then you're losing less if he only gets 2 and becomes an 86. So you got to kind of play with it a little bit. So with that being said, I'm going to snag this 23,000 Caden Gooley up. Hopefully he gets 3, and I'm going to take his 3 blocks, and then hopefully he gets 4, 5, 6 blocks, and then I make a lot of coins on it. But I've got 3 investments right now that could pan out very well for me. And then for our last game, yep, we finally reached our last game. We've got Nick Bonino, who's 20, 15, 13, 39. Okay, this is all over the price. Nobody knows what to value Nick Bonino at. We know he's 13,000 because he's been up for an hour and nobody's bought him. But what is his blocks and how good is he going to be? Let's check it out and see if Nick Bonino's a steal. To actually answer that question, do not buy Nick Bonino. He is out indefinitely. It says, you know, he's going to miss Friday's game. Chances are he's going to miss Saturday's game just because it's personal. And if he's missing the Friday home game, is there a shot he misses the Saturday road game? Does he go on the road with the team, or does he stay home for the weekend to deal with what he needs to deal with? Whatever it may be. Who knows what it is? Nobody's making speculations. But I would not buy this Nick Bonino because it doesn't matter what his blocks are. Chances are he doesn't play. So 13,000, I'm avoiding that. Now, Thomas Chabot strikes me as a guy that doesn't really lay down in front of the puck. I don't watch a lot of Ottawa games. When I do, he's not the one throwing his body out there. In my opinion, I might be wrong. And 70,000, 30,000, 17,000, there it is. 17,000. We got a couple of realistic people on here saying that he's not going to get 2 blocks. That's what that tells me. The 17,000 tells me that this is not going to get 2 blocks. So let's go check out what he's going to get and just see. 21 games, 42 blocks. That is the 2-block guy. That is a 2-block guy. He gets a lot of 1-block games, some 2-block games, and some 3-block games. So the 3-block games are what's pulling up his average. If you can get lucky and grab a 3-block game, you'll be happy. He's had a lot of 1-block games, so maybe he gets a 2-block. I would pass on this card. 17's too much. If you can get it 11, 12, 13, I would have been all over that. If I could find this card at 13K, I'd be all over that, because I would risk him not making an 88 and only getting an 85 and losing 1,000 coins. But this way, I'm losing like 7,000 coins on a shot at only making 3. It doesn't add up. If I'm losing 1,000, but I can make 9, I like it, but I don't like going the other way. So this Thomas Chabot's going to be a pass for me as well. So there's my list, guys. What's your list? Who are you chasing? Who do you like? I've got Tinordi, I've got Goodbranson, and I got Gooley. I hope those 3 have a great game, and whoever you get after, I hope they have a great game for you. But that's who it is. Those are their blocks. Those are the numbers. Those are who I would take, who I'd avoid. And if you've got those cards that I said avoid, don't be upset. Sell them. If you think they're an avoid as well, sell them. Get out from under them while the hype is around it and people think they're going to be better than they are. But thank you guys for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, ciao, ciao.